Have you ever been told by your movement disorder specialist or your medical professional that we have no more treatment options to offer you? It can either light a fire under you to look for alternative solutions, or it can leave you in desperation and despair. Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you'll consider subscribing. Everyone else, thank you for your continued love and support. And today I'm thrilled to introduce you to our newest sponsor, Woojer, the company that has redefined haptic technology by making it more silent and more immersive. A big round of applause to Woojer. Thank you very much, Woojer. Thank you for sending us this vest so we can test it out to see if we can find different frequencies to help people with Parkinson's. And there's a custom link in the description. And if you use that link to purchase, you will support Life with Parkinson's indirectly, and we really appreciate that. Thank you. First thing I want to point out is I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person with Parkinson's doing the best I can with the information I have and passing it on to you guys in the most understandable way possible. Second, the Woojer Vest is not a medical device. It's actually meant for the home entertainment industry. And we're just adapting it here to play our specific frequency of 128 hertz. And that is no problem because the Woojer Vest can play any frequency from 1 hertz to 250 hertz. So this is a perfect matching and a perfect pair to go along. And just so everyone understands, we're using the Woojer Vest as the delivery system of the frequency. So the vest delivers the frequency is what does the work. And near the end of the video, we'll talk about the Woojer Vest a little bit more and how to get it to do what we're getting it to do. And at this point, I can hear the question growing in strength as I continue to write this script. Dave, what is so special about 128 hertz? 128 hertz is a therapeutic vibration frequency, often associated with calming, balancing, and body level healing effects, in particular bone healing. It's one of the most widely used frequencies in sound therapy and osteophonic tuning forks and vibroacoustic therapy because it interacts directly with the physical body's tissues and nervous system. And when I look at what 128 hertz can do, I see it as a little gold mine. And I kind of look at it from the angle of, why didn't I hear about this before? You know, when I was growing up, I was trained to believe that the Western medical system is infallible. I was trained to believe that all our hopes and dreams relied upon taking a pill and feeling better. But now that I've lived the other side, there's no way I want to go back to that. And I'm not putting the Western medical system down. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that maybe by adding different things to it, it would be more of a holistic approach, like a whole body approach. And in my opinion, I believe that's what's missing. It's supporting this one pillar really, really well. But these other pillars involved in holistic healing are lacking. I believe that a lot of my preconceptions growing up would have been like, no, I would have been terrified of this. I would have been like, run away. There's crazy people over there. And thankfully, when I discovered that 128 hertz could stop my dyskinesia, it was a very good thing because I also discovered that on top of what we just read, 128 hertz can do a lot more. It also promotes the production and release of nitric oxide, a very important molecule for our mitochondrial system and our ATP delivery system, which we've talked about before. So when the 128 hertz is being used or applied to the body, the area in which it's applied, and with the Woojer Vest would be your whole upper body, you'll have nitric oxide produced and released in that area. The nitric oxide helps with circulation, inflammation, oxidative stress, and the list just goes on and on. And the one thing that gets me at this point is that people will always say, well, where's the scientific evidence? Where's the group studies? That's a great question. It's like, why are we only relying really on anecdotal experience? Well, when I think about it, I believe that studies are meant for bringing a new medication along, bringing a new treatment along, where companies can purchase intellectual properties or patents. And in this situation, no, you can't patent natural substances and phenomena. I mean, you can't patent something like oxygen. Could you imagine if you could? And these are the reasons I believe why we really only have anecdotal experience and a few small studies, is because companies just aren't paying for the research to be done. Another question I get is, Dave, how did you find out that 128 hertz could stop your dyskinesia symptoms? Well, I had another sponsor who had sent us some tuning forks, and one of them just happened to be a weighted tuning fork at 128 hertz. And when I activated it and applied it to my sternum while I was having dyskinesia, the dyskinesia stopped for as long as I applied the tuning fork. So I haven't found a cure, right? I haven't found a cure. I can only stop the dyskinesia while the 128 hertz is being applied. Once I take it away, the dyskinesia starts again and then continues until it's run its course. So at that point, I contacted a researcher friend of mine who I met through content creation, who suggested a bone induction speaker, which works well, but if you overuse it, it causes overstimulation problems. And I have found that to be common with any electrical powered device. There are limits on how much you can use them in a day. And now we've gone from the bone induction speaker to the Woojer Vest. Because I was like, okay, this bone induction speaker is really good, but what we need is some sort of wearable tech where we can still do things like house clean and go for a walk, do the dishes, do our chores, whatever we need to do. So essentially we have like a mobile treatment device. The next question that I feel people really want to know about is, Dave, how do I get the vest to do what you've gotten it to do? And it's very simple to set up. It's a Bluetooth technology device, so it's very easily paired to your phone or your computer. And honestly, I just had ChatGPT make me a 128 hertz wave file that I loaded into my phone or into my computer, and then I hit play on my Woojer Vest. So it's really simple to do. It's really easy to do. But one thing to think about with the haptic technology is that they use oscillating permanent magnets. So if you have any wearable medical devices that are sensitive to magnetism, I would certainly check with your doctor or medical professional before you go out and purchase a vest, just so you make sure everything is okay. And the next question is, Dave, how do I know if this is the right thing for me, or if this is the right thing for a relative or a friend I'm thinking about? Well, that's a tough question for me to answer because everyone's situation is so different and personal. But the one thing that I really think about is I think we all know when it's time to try something new. And that's why I brought up in the beginning where I had been told I was out of options. So I think when we hear that statement, we know it's time to try and find something different to do. So I'm just going to rely on our own personal feelings because our Parkinson's is so personal to us. And like I pointed out before, I haven't solved the problem of dyskinesia. I've maybe tapped into like something that can be developed into a partial remedy. And that's kind of where I think the next question is, Dave, where do we go from here? Where do you go from here? And I've given that a lot of thought, and it's like, well, I really need someone to step in and help move the 128 hertz project forward. A group, a company, a person who's a lot smarter than me that can take it over and spearhead it. Because, like I said, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. I'm just a person with Parkinson's hoping that someone will take this on and move it forward. And before we wrap this up, I just want to thank Woojer again for coming on as our newest sponsor. And just remind everybody that, hey, there's a custom link in the description. Use it to make your purchase and support Life with Parkinson's indirectly, and we really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to take this journey together. Thank you for liking, watching, subscribing, and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please leave a question or a comment below. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye.